Welcome, come and watch till the end. Dot is deaf and mute. Disability keeps her alone. Since her single father died, Dot's godmother's family has cared for her. Her new godsister, Nina, does not detest Dot since she has never had a sibling. Nina is renowned at school while Dot is an outcast. Nina and her cruel dancers mock Dot about her illness in the opening scene. The guidance director asks Dot to lunch after seeing this. Dot says no and flees to a school restroom stall, her favorite location. She feels protected and less lonely by herself. Nina grabs her in a fury to go home. Nina's mom, Olivia, encourages her to make Dot feel at home, but she does not care. She does not owe Dot anything since she did not take her in. Paul, Nina's dad, discovers Olivia asleep in the living room. She is depressed and an alcoholic. Because of her medications, Paul puts her to bed. When he returns to supper, the girls are uncomfortably silent. He proposes learning sign language for Dot to reduce stress, but Nina cuts him off and leaves. Nina and her pals discuss things again during lunch the following day. Michelle, Nina's friend, mocks her virginity and 17-year-old age. She can date any man, but she is shy. Dot plays piano in the school's vacant music room. She can still play since she practiced while she could hear. Famous Connor hears her play and falls in love. He stares at her until his buddy advises him to stop. Dot sees Nina again in the restroom. Nina forces her to wear lipstick. Just when Dot believes they should come closer, she glances in the mirror and sees Nina dab lipstick around her lips on purpose. Dot misses her father and cannot sleep. She walks outside for air and finds Nina's bedroom door open. She sees Nina and her father Paul in bed. She hurries to her room, disturbed by what she finds. The next day during supper, Nina begs her parents if she may stay at Michelle's. Olivia advises her to depart despite Paul's objections. Nina rubs her foot on Paul's leg beneath the table to persuade him to release her. Paul persists. She contacts Michelle after his silence indicates agreement. Olivia's constant disagreements annoy Paul. He fights briefly before leaving. When Olivia is alone, Dot writes a message asking to go to the movies. Dot accepts Paul's offer of a ride. Nina and her companions in the theater's middle row are alone. The others stop Connor from talking to Dot when he sees her alone. Nina sympathizes with her but behaves indifferently. Dot watches her fall while she shuts her ears to be deaf. She pauses when Dot looks down at her. Dot thinks about Nina all night. When Paul descends, she seems asleep. He strokes her hair and claims to be ill. He appears to realize he is hurting his daughter, yet he cannot stop. He took Dot in, hoping she would keep him out of Nina's room, but it did not work. Next, Dot plays the piano alone at home. Nina watches her play from the corridor after school unaware. Dot curses when a piano wire breaks. Nina gasps as she realizes Dot has been listening. She lies and claims she just got home. The next day, Nina meets Dot for lunch. Nina tells Dot about her father's secret moment. Dot looks confused at her. She is testing Dot, but she is calm. She claims she will murder Paul at night with Michelle's pistol before leaving. She still does not get Dot's attention, but she is worried she is speaking the truth. She plays piano in the music room to forget Nina. She sees Connor peering at her through the door again. He prevents her from leaving when she feels uncomfortable. He invites her out to work on lab research. She reveals to him that the report is done, ruining his plan. The family is eating supper when Connor unexpectedly comes to the door. He invites Dot to discuss the lab report at the library. As Michelle enters, she reluctantly accepts. Nina mentioned Michelle's pistol, so Dot worries she is attempting to murder Paul. Dot and Connor are in a restaurant next. After briefly discussing the findings, he tells her how he feels about her. He imagines having sex with her. He believes she cannot hear him. Dot fears Nina did something horrible as an ambulance approached her home. She rushes home to find everyone safe. She then hears Paul undressing Nina. Dot damages a statue for Nina, who seems fed up with her dad. Paul retires to his room since the noise ends the thrill. Dot slips in and holds Nina as she falls asleep. Nina talks to Dot while ironing her cheerleading costume in the following scene. She burns a toy bear's face to prove she would murder Paul with the iron that night. Dot believes Nina is unaware of her hearing. Thus, she denies hearing her idea. Later, Nina and Michelle support the school basketball team. The coach benched Connor after a few minutes due to his poor play. Connor and Dot swim after the game. Connor talks about his sexual life. Thinking she cannot hear him, Dot abruptly removes her top and makes love by the pool. Olivia advises Nina and Connor at home. She angers Paul by dressing her daughter like a harlot. Olivia undresses and wants Connor to sleep with her, but Connor is no longer interested. Nina arrives home after midnight, exhausted from cheering all day. Paul gets her a pocketbook and attempts to get close. Olivia moves about her room awake. She does nothing to stop her spouse, even though she seems to know. Nina's request to shut his eyes surprises Paul. When he does as she says, she brings a hot iron. Dot arrives home just in time to stop him from burning his face. Nina leaves, claiming pregnancy. Paul is petrified of parenthood. He gives Nina $1,000 for an abortion the following day. Nina then tells Dot she cannot murder him. The school dance is tomorrow. Nina lends Dot a dress. She tells the girls she lied about being pregnant while getting ready. She hopes to depart with $1,000. She hopes to earn a lot of money stripping in the new city. After telling the truth, she put lipstick on Dot again without clowning her up. Later, Paul discovers tampons in Nina's purse. He thinks she is lying about being pregnant since she has not had her period in 6 weeks. He presents the tampon and asks her to explain. He rejects Nina's lies. He hits her face and tries to get near her. Olivia ignores her daughter's anguished cries. Dot hears the screaming and wailing. She stops playing, pulls a piano wire out, and goes to her room. She ties Paul up with wire and shouts at him to leave Nina alone. She pauses, and he dies. Nina's astonished. Olivia rants at Dot for murdering her dad. Dot's speech surprises her more than her husband's death. Michelle rings the doorbell simultaneously to pick them up for the school dance. The females immediately changed and bagged their bleeding garments. To seem normal, they carry the bag to school. Dot dances with Connor at school, but she is distracted. She conceals the bag in the bathroom during the party. Olivia stares blankly at Paul's corpse in the bedroom. She was over him. Long time. She wishes she had saved her daughter from him. When Dot turns around, Connor is startled. She hears him. He also discovers that she knows everything unpleasant about him. She lied and invaded his privacy, so he believes she is insane. Dot apologizes, but is rebuffed. She concentrates on other things since she knows he will not give her a chance. She takes Nina from the lavatory to a nearby brook. They buried the garments and bag to dispose of the corpse later. Nina inquires about Dot's deafness. Dot claims she wanted to be like her deaf, silent father. The girls rush home and discover the ultimate surprise. Olivia is handcuffed as police surround their residence. Olivia tells them she murdered Paul. She apologizes to Nina too. Nina understands why she must apologize even if the police suspect she murdered her father. The girls watch as Oliva is driven away by the police in the last scene. Thanks for watching. Watch another video. Welcome. Come and watch till the end. She cannot remove the gag when she wakes up outdoors. She observes the lady using a gag to cross a river when she gets up. The lady glances at her and leaves. Behind her, Guy passes. She joins him at a large field box. Others approach the box. However, the guy opens it. He takes out a rack of pistols when a pig runs out. The field, including the previous lady, goes toward the box. She unlocks one person using the keys. They flee when someone begins firing at them. She is shot while thinking she is safe. One of the field players fires at the shooter but dies. Others hide. A lady rushes out of the house and falls into a ditch. The person who rushes to aid her finds her stabbed but alive. While helping her up, he stumbles on a landmine. She and he flee and explode. Another runner hides behind a fence. He nearly shoots the guy who opens the package. 2 more people in blue shirts tell him he does not want their money. He just wants to know where he is. They tell him he is in Arkansas and give him a phone so he can call the police. When the woman takes a cookie, she chokes on it as if it were poisoned, and the pair throws a smoke bomb at them while wearing gas masks. The man kills the blue shirt before he can shoot them. They use the bomb to choke the other person and then kill him too. The woman complains about the gas store. After that, they clean up the area and get rid of the dead. The woman feels bad when she sees a wedding ring on that blue shirt. Her husband says it does not matter because he is a bad person and probably even says the N-word. When they get a call on the radio, a couple is arguing about racism, so they tell the woman on the other end who they killed, and she tells them that another wanted person is coming toward them as she walks toward the gas station. When she arrives, they are ready and smile at her. Crystal asks for a pack of cigarettes and emergency money, then asks where she is. The lady responds as she collects her change, but Crystal knows something is amiss and slaps them. She murders the guy first, then the lady with the shotgun from behind the bar. Crystal checks the gas station and finds the dead, then grabs some rubber bands and bullets, puts her coat down, and walks out. She checks out the truck in front of her and finds that the plates are fake Croatian plates. Then she finds a wire attached to the door that leads to a bomb. She hides in the trees when she hears the others talking on the radio she stole, saying they are looking for her because the couple from the crystal stops him and tells him it is set up. She tells him that by shooting the drone, he basically told them they were at the gas station. She then starts walking towards some train tracks she saw earlier. He goes after her and tells her he has an idea about why they are being hunted and why they are there. He apparently read a story about a group of literal elites who kidnap people and take them to a house to hunt them down. Crystal doesn't doubt his views. Military police search each car when the train stops abruptly. When the guy informs one of the policemen that he and his wife are Americans and that the migrants are crisis actors, the police inspect all of their firearms. The police do not speak English, so when one of the foreigners speaks to the guy in great English with an American accent, he claims they do not believe him, and the other goes insane. The immigrant advises him to calm down as everyone else hides. The guy grabs him and places a bomb in his trousers, exploding him. Crystal rides a vehicle to a refugee camp. An officer leads her to a desk and requests her paperwork. After asking where she is, she begins pondering. A US government agent appears and leads them into the woods. After Dawn tells him everything, the official is startled and declares he will summon the State Department and soldiers to hunt their pursuers. Crystal kills the odd man by knocking him unconscious, pushing him out of the vehicle, and stepping on him. She discovers a pistol under his jacket. Dawn is frightened since she murdered the official while looking through the trunk. When he goes inside, he realizes that the other person with her is also dead. She finds a map, and Dawn says he believes they are the only two people remaining. Dawn wants to drive away, but she tells him not to. She wants to use the map to find the people who are after them so she can get back at them. She tells him a horrifying story that her mother used to tell her. Suddenly, the pig shows up again at the tunnel. The people who are after them talk about what is and is not politically right. One of them is an expert who is a fighter. He tells him to stop, but all they do is laugh at him on the radio. They can hear Athena telling them to be quiet when one of them goes outside to pee. Dawn distracts him with the pig and Crystal kills him when he gets to a tree. When the group gets back to the bunker, they hear something outside. The soldier tells them what to do, but they do not do it very well. All of them are scared, so when Dawn drops the pig inside, they shoot it. The woman is angry that they killed the pig. Suddenly, Crystal kills one of the men and shoots at the other. She makes the soldier unconscious and then stabs the woman. She fights with one of the other guys over a gun, but he steals the bullets from her. She puts another bullet in the gun and shoots him. Then she goes to the shooter and kills the last one. She thinks she has them all, but then the man grabs her and they start fighting. Crystal beats him with a roof pipe, but does not kill him. Though alive, she calls the lady a hick. Dawn rushes in just as Crystal pulls out a gun and is ready to shoot her. He finds a pistol, and Crystal tells him to ask the lady why they were harming them. Crystal wants to murder her since she gave a foolish response, but Dawn stops her by stating she is a woman and should be rescued. Crystal asks the woman if she should be given pity just because she is a woman, and when the woman says no, Crystal kills her. Dawn goes crazy, and all of a sudden Athena's voice comes on the radio. She asks if he has Crystal, and when he says no, she points her gun at him. He says he is not one of them. Even though Athena keeps asking over the radio what is going on, she tells Dawn to kill Crystal. But even though he begs her not to believe the woman on the radio, she shoots him anyway. Crystal tells Athena that Dawn is dead, and Athena tells her to come get her. Crystal sits next to the soldier and talks to him politely until she asks where Athena is. She tells him she will not give up and presses on his wound to get him to tell her where she is hidden. He tells her what to do but warns her that she has been getting ready for the hunt for months. He is also killed by Crystal. In a flashback to a year ago, we see Athena's office where two co-workers are waiting for her. They talk about the hunt-related text message she got. She says that it was just a joke, but they tell her that some people think it is real. Athena laughs, but the guy persists. He keeps suggesting a PR. Nightmare tells her she must resign her work, and she begs for a list of people who have confessed she hunts people as a plot. 8 months before the hunt, the gang chooses participants in another flashback. Athena urges them on. The slide suddenly shows Crystal. When the guy exhibiting the slides reads what Crystal says about Athena, Athena becomes upset and makes Crystal her greatest enemy. Crystal walks toward her home now. Crystal sets the rifle down and enters the home when Athena informs her over the speaker that she will set off the C4 beneath the gate if she does not leave it there. Crystal cautiously enters the home and stares at the images of herself and others on Athena's wall as Beethoven plays. She is silent. Crystal and Athena appear unaware of their identities. Crystal mocks her for setting up the search for the wrong reasons. This completes the storyline. She has the wrong Crystal. Another Crystal with her last name shared the horrible Athena conspiracy claims online. Crystal pursues Athena with a knife. They battle violently, with similar power and intensity. Crystal throws everything she can at Athena, including a champagne bottle that Athena saves. Athena pursues Crystal upstairs with a shotgun after she kicks her over the fireplace. Crystal survives. Athena dies. She rises, eats toast, and cauterizes her wound. She washes and wears Athena's clothing and shoes. She departs with costly champagne. She sees Athena's private jet outside. On the aircraft, she informs the stewardess and captain that she murdered their employers and threatens them with a pistol. Thanks for watching. Watch another video. Welcome. Come and watch till the end. New York City author Jennifer Hills wrote her second book in Louisiana. She picks up the cabin keys at a store on the way. Earl gives her keys and directions at the store. Jennifer's vacation is for writing serenity. Jennifer stops at a gas station to seek directions when she gets lost. Johnny, an attendant, directs her there. Jennifer accidentally presses her panic button, scaring Johnny. His buddies Andy and Stanley giggle as he spills a pail of fluid. Johnny looks embarrassed as Jennifer drives off. Jennifer arrives at the cabin, her home for months, after a lengthy drive. She promptly unpacks, ready to move. After days of book writing, Jennifer rests by the lake the next day. She ignores strange sounds. The sounds return, making her nervous. Jennifer checks the shed across the way and discovers only poison vials. She washes her clothing after spilling her drink. An unknown individual is surreptitiously filming her half naked. The next day, she runs into the woods and finds an abandoned cottage. Jennifer peeks inside out of curiosity. She keeps going because nothing interests her. She calls Matthew, a plumber, after finding her sink and toilet blocked at home. He stutters due to mental illness. Jennifer kisses Matthew after he restores her bathroom. Shy Matthew flushes and hurries out. Andy, Stanley, and Johnny like killing birds in the woods. Stanley, who loves randomness, records the savagery. Matthew comes shortly after and tells the group about Jennifer kissing him. Johnny doubts him, but Stanley proves it by presenting a video of her in underpants. Jennifer is concerned by the scary home sounds at night. She discovers just a dead bird outside her door. She sees the group picture on her laptop when she returns inside. She is horrified until she realizes they are inside. Johnny, Stanley, and Andy harass Jennifer, scaring her. Johnny brings Matthew inside to join their plot when Stanley calls. Johnny leads the others in threatening and drinking Jennifer. Johnny becomes angrier when she refuses, forcing her to comply. He then pulls Jennifer closer and asks for her teeth. Johnny draws a revolver and kisses Jennifer. While Johnny watches, Andy does the same with booze. Jennifer pepper sprays Stanley after hitting Andy's leg. She can flee to safety in the woods. Jennifer and Earl encounter Sheriff Storch. Jennifer tells the guys tearfully about her previous attack. Storch's badge reassures her that she is protected. The sheriff tells Earl to go home because he will take Jennifer to the cabin. Storch then drives Jennifer back to the cabin to face the gang. He boldly shoves them out while searching the cabin. Storch discovers Jennifer's joint and smashed beer bottle. Despite her pleadings, he interrogates Jennifer. He thinks she should not lie about the guys he has known since childhood. Storch then pats Jennifer while facing the window. As the lads enter, he unlawfully touches her, exposing Storch as the group's collaborator. Storch instructs Jennifer to kneel with a shotgun. Johnny lifts her up and orders Matthew to undress. Jennifer is at risk of death with 5 callous guys. Matthew forces himself on Jennifer while Stanley records. Jennifer escapes the cabin despite being weak. She finds the gang again in the woods and suffers more. Andy submerges Jennifer's head twice in a puddle. Storch strips and forces himself on her while she lies on the ground. Jennifer wakes up covered in mud when the men turn on her. Jennifer rises again to search the woods for aid. She reaches the bridge as the 5 guys pursue her, still unhinged by her ordeal. Jennifer jumps into the river just before Storch shoots her, disappearing. They cannot find her corpse. Instead, they erase evidence, notably Stanley's recordings. Storch arrives home to his wife and kid, Chastity, after a busy day. He stays home without regret. as if nothing had occurred. The following day, Storch brings the cabin keys to Earl's store, stating that Jennifer fled without warning. The gang lives normally for weeks. Matthew is the only one who regrets staying in the woods. He sees Jennifer eerily gazing at him. Matthew hides his eyes in terror and thinks Jennifer is haunting him. Stanley runs toward Andy and Joni as they drink. He worriedly tells the voice that his camera was taken and that he retained the problematic footage. Johnny rages and beats Stanley for putting them in danger. Johnny hears sounds outside and finds a dead bird on his doorstep that night. He starts it before entering. He returns inside and hears it again, bringing a rifle. The dead bird appears again on his doorstep, unidentified. Johnny runs outside to discover Jennifer's shoe on the porch and attempts to track the sound again, but he fails. When Storch gets home, his wife tells him a delivery has arrived. He is pleased that his wife and daughter have not seen Stanley's tape. Storch races to meet the apprehensive group. Storch immediately threatens Stanley, believing he is pranking him. Johnny presents the slipper to protect his pal, accusing Matthew of everything. Storch gives Earl booze and shoots him while hunting. Earl observes Storch take Jennifer back to the cabin, making him a suspect. Matthew contemplates his activities in the cabin. Jennifer's voice calls him inside. Falling down the stairs knocks him unconscious. He awakens to discover Jennifer seated on the sofa. He sits near Jennifer and apologizes. Matthew clings to her in remorse, crying. Jennifer soothes him, then ties a noose around his neck. Despite gasping, Matthew apologizes, but Jennifer says it is not enough. The gang searches the woods for Matthew when evidence resurfaces. Andy and Stanley find him in an abandoned cabin after several minutes. Stanley searches for Matthew as Andy enters. He is shocked to find Jennifer smirking at him. Stanley jumps on her bear trap and cries for Andy, who is batted. Jennifer smacks Stanley, knocking them out. Jennifer ties Stanley to a tree and films him. She throws a dead rodent in his mouth, making him puke. Jennifer sets up the camera and uses fish hooks to keep his eyes open. Jennifer guts a fish and covers Stanley's face while filming. Crows peck him after smelling the fish's intestines. He bleeds to death when the birds devour his eyes. Andy wakes up bound to planks above a bathtub in the rundown cabin. As Jennifer checks on him, the tub starts filling. Andy begs her to let him go, but she wants to torment him as she did. Jennifer repeatedly submerges his head in water before adding lye and removing a board. Andy must struggle to keep upright but falls into the water. Andy's face burns, killing him. The next day, Jennifer visits Johnny's patrol station. She assaults him in a short skirt. She returns him to the cottage to wreak havoc. Johnny awakens naked, bound to the ceiling. Jennifer rips out his teeth with pliers, revealing his faults. Jennifer puts a pistol to Johnny's lips, as he did to her. He laughs, agitating Jennifer. She chops Johnny's privates with hedge clippers and puts them in his mouth. He dies screaming. Jennifer's last objective is Storch. The sheriff's family calls to say Chastity's instructor is at their house. Jennifer's phone greeting stuns Storch. He rushes home to see Chastity and Jennifer. Storch enters an empty playground without his daughter. He panics and goes back to the patrol vehicle, where Jennifer knocks him out. He wakes up in the cabin with a weapon within him. Jennifer brazenly discusses how great Chastity is and how he might abuse a lady. She pushes the weapon further, bringing the sheriff unspeakable anguish. Jennifer says Matthew is alive but unconscious across the room. If Matthew moves, the trigger string around his wrist will murder both men. Jennifer rejects Storch's plea for his life. Jennifer leaves the cabin, unperturbed by his screams. Matthew awakens, asking Storch to calm him. However, Matthew's mental handicap prompts him to panic and accidentally shoot them. Outside, Jennifer celebrates her retribution. Thanks for watching. Watch another video.